Good morning, folks. This is Naeem Aslam live on our YouTube channel, and welcome to our YouTube channel. Of course, as always, we'll be discussing why the markets are moving to the upside, or why there is a caution in the market really after that big sell-off that we have seen last week. Because last week's sell-off was the biggest sell-off since February last year. So obviously there are a lot of concerns among investors and traders, and we'll be addressing those concerns. We'll be mentioning why stock traders are becoming little bit concerned about the stock market, and are we going to see the momentum to the upside or to the downside? And more importantly, where are those particular price levels that we've got to be watching and looking very carefully when it comes to the stock market? So that would be the part of this video. And of course, I'll be also discussing gold prices, oil, and cryptos. So, bit about myself. I come with a 15 years of a trading experience. During this time period, I have worked as a hedge fund trader for Bank of New York Mellon, as an equity trader for Bank of America, and currently providing services as a chief market analyst to EverTrade. Folks, as always, anything which will be discussed in this video cannot be perceived as an advice. So, what is happening in the market? Traders have become a lot more concerned. They're starting to show a lot more concerns about the US economic data. Last week, we saw economic data not being able to beat the forecast. The retail numbers were very weak in comparison to what markets were expecting. And remember, the week prior to that, we also saw the US labor market or the employment market also printing not so good numbers as well. And on top of that, we also saw the US CPI numbers, the inflation numbers, showing to us that inflation is soaring at a much faster pace. Now, the US central bank, which is called the Federal Reserve, has shown no interest in controlling the monetary policy, which impacts your dollar index, meaning your forex pairs like euro dollar, sterling dollar, dollar yen. It impacts your stock market, it impacts commodities, and of course, it impacts fixed income as well. So this week, we are expecting for the Federal Reserve minutes to come, and then perhaps there could be some sort of a clue in those minutes on Wednesday. That is when those minutes will be released. But as of today, what we're really seeing is investors are picking up the momentum where they left off things last week, and they are saying that, okay, the market is more likely to continue to move to the downside. So here are some of the price levels that you need to watch out for this particular week, which are very important for us to pay attention to. And of course, folks, if you like the content, if you like what we are really talking about, do smash that like button. And if you wanted to have a continuous information on this one, because markets do change as they go along, so hit that subscribe button as well, because that will give you the notifications at the same time. So let's go and then walk you through the numbers which really matters. Now, I am talking about the S&P 500 index first of all, and that is the S&P 500 futures. So if you are trading on the MT4 platform, that is the one that you'll be looking at. So the number that we really got to be focused on is going to be the low of last week, which is 4,029. So if the market is going to break below the low of last week, then it means that we are going to be having more sell-off in the market. And the highs of last week, which is 4,237. And that means if the price crosses above this particular price action, then this means the sell-off is over. More gains are very much ahead of this particular stock market. Now, of course, the moment for if we compare the three indices, which is your S&P 500, or also known as the US 500, or the Dow Jones 30, or also known as US 30, and the Nasdaq, which is also known as the US Tech 100 Index, it is your Nasdaq which is the most weakest index. And that is where we are likely to see more sell-off. But at the same time, it is also where we are likely to see more bargain as well. So with respect to the Dow Jones over the Nasdaq index, we are looking at the following price levels. So I am looking at the low of 12,914, which is the low for last week, and the high of last week, which is at 13,751. Again, the concept is going to be remaining very much the same. Do let me know, what do you think of these particular price level, as the price will walk you between these two price levels? Are you paying some other price levels more attention to, and why is that? If you want my opinion on them, feel free to put your comments in the chat box, or afterwards just put them right underneath, and I will come back to you with more details on that. Now, that is the overall theme for the US stock market. Let's shift gears and move into the commodity market, meaning gold prices. Of course, gold prices, they are ready to post. I mean, they posted 3 consecutive weeks of gains, and on the daily time frame, I still see a lot of momentum still coming in, and prices are likely to move to the upside. And perhaps when it comes to really gold prices, we are likely to see prices going all the way to 1880. But again, if the price falls below the 200-day simple moving average, which is trading in around 1827, we could see some weakness creeping in. And if the price cannot move above that average, then really the chances are more weakness. But overall, I do think that prices for gold prices are becoming very bullish. And the reason for that is the 50-day simple moving average on the daily time frame is about to go cross above the 100 and the 200-day simple moving average. What do you think? Do you think that gold prices will continue to move to the upside? Are you long on gold price? Are you short, meaning are you buying gold? Are you long-term bull for gold? Do mention that. So we'll have a conversation, of course, on that one. Anyways, now when it comes to sterling over in the United Kingdom, of course, we are coming out of the further lockdown, meaning I will be able to go inside a restaurant and have my dinner indoor, or lunch indoor, or breakfast indoor after a very long time. But of course, there are still concerns about the Indian variant and how that is going to really influence. International travels have eased off, and that is impacting the FTSE 100 price today positively, and of course, sterling dollar. So these are the two derivatives, two different assets, or two different really sort of investment vehicles that you've got to be really looking at on the back of this one. So that is what we have to be more focused on. But for the time being, sterling dollar is very much maintaining its upward trend, and it is moving to the upside. Let me know if you are long on sterling or if you are short on sterling. What levels are you watching to take some profit off the table when it comes to sterling prices, because that would be quite an important one for you guys to look at. Now, let's shift gears further and then move into crypto market, and then see what exactly is happening with respect to crypto market. Now, when we look at the crypto market, there has been phenomenal news flow, obviously. And remember, we talked about several times when it comes to Bitcoin price that look, all that bullish news is not helping the price to break above the all-time high. And that was a concern, that traders are losing their upward momentum. So what happened on after that is that we were waiting for some bad news to come in, and then really see that how much of the bad news is going to push crypto prices to the downside. And of course, Elon Musk brought a lot of bad news in the last few days, especially over the weekend, and that started to push Bitcoin price to the downside. Now, as of today, I do see the prices somewhat stabilizing to an extent. And of course, I have done full extensive video on Bitcoin prices in relation to what prices you need to pay attention to, where could be those important pivot levels where the price can either move to the upside, or either it can continue its journey to the downside. The link is right over here on this video, and do have a look at it, and do let me know, what are your positions when it comes to Bitcoin price action? Are you long or are you short? That's all for now. See you guys next time.